Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. शोक मोहादि संसार कारण निवृत्त्यर्थम गीता शास्त्रम न प्रवर्तकम इति एतस्य अर्थस्य साक्षिभूते रुचौ आनिनाय भगवान. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita Shastra is not to tell the people to get involved in this world and suffer, but to come to discover that there is no reason that we are miserable in this world, and there is no reason that we continue to be deluded about our own identity. For that purpose Bhagavad Gita is. Therefore, those who are all the time insisting that karma, 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 they are obsessed with their own ignorance. So, to bring out this point, Bhagavan Sri Krishna quotes from Kathopanishad. Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanito नायम हन्ति न हन्यते. यत्तु मन्यसे युद्धे भीष्मादयो मया हन्यते अहम एव तेषां हन्ता इति एषा बुद्धिः मृषा एवते. Arjun, what you are thinking that in this battle war I am going to kill, or the Bhishma etc. will be killed by me, maya hanyate, and I am the killer of them in this manner. This is your wrong understanding. Mrusha buddhi. Mrusha buddhi means mithyavad. This has no substance in that. You may say, but there is no substance. Like when we say that I don't have a tongue in my mouth. Now this kind of statement has no meaning, because when you say I don't have a tongue in the mouth, then how are you talking? And when you don't have the tongue in the mouth, you will not make this statement. So this is called as vadato vyaghata dosha, means that which does not have any meaning, we go on talking. Similarly, Arjun, you have this notion that you are the killer and Bhishma etc. will be killed by you. This is meaningless blabbering. How? Yaha enam prakrutam dehinam vitti janati hantaram hanana kriyayaha kartaram. And yaha cha enam anyaha manyate hatam dehananena athaha amiti hanana kriyayaha karma bhutam. So there are two things in any action. First thing is the doer, and second thing is the action is falling on something. Like, I am paring a pencil. So I am the doer of paring of the pencil, and that paring is falling as an action on the pencil. So pencil becomes a karma and I become a karta. So yaha enam prakrutam dehinam vetti janati, he who considers this atma tattva to be kartaram hanana kriyayaha. Hantaram is the hanana kriyaha kartaram. The purpose, the doership associated with the act of killing. He who thinks this. Similarly, Yahacha enam manyate hatam. And he who thinks that he is being killed, meaning hataha aham iti, I am being killed. So hanana kriyayaha karma bhutam, two things. So the killer and the killed, both of them, ubhau tavuna vijanitaha, both of them know not. न ज्ञानवन्तौ अविवेकेन आत्मानम अहम प्रत्यय विषयम. So न ज्ञानवन्तौ, they do not know themselves because avivekena, because they have not understood the meaning of I, aham pratyaya vishayam, and therefore they start imagining when the body dies, I die. When I kill somebody's body, I kill him. Now this looks a very usual, casual statement. But you go in the depth of this. Don't we, in spite of studying Vedanta for so many years, going to Satsang, again and again the same thought goes on coming in the mind. That I am old, somebody dies, you start thinking, I think my death is also approaching. That means all what we have studied has gone waste. See? I remember I told you once about one of my old friend. His friend died. And they were together right from childhood. And he took me there. Swamiji, please come. So we went there. Swamiji, you talk something on Gita. I said, are you crazy or what? Talk for whom? For the dead one. Who has not listened during their life? Do you think he will listen now after death? Then for whom? So I didn't talk. And then we were coming out. So he was driving me. And then he said, Swamiji, I think now my number is coming. So, very elderly man, now he is almost 90. So I pulled him, I said, you take the car one side. And I caught hold of his shirt. I said, Kaka, you told me that you are listening to your Guru and you are going to Satsang for last 40 years. And I said, I am not even 40 years in age. So you must be saturated in this knowledge, is it not? And what you have been hearing all these years? And after having heard all these things, when you look at the death of somebody, if there is even a slight thought that I am also likely to be following the same path, I am also going to die one day, when this thing comes in our mind, understand the knowledge has not percolated deep in our understanding. See how important it is. In this way, go on contemplating. When we are trying to see that if I am not the body means what? Work on that. So the modifications of the body cannot be my modification. The gender of the body cannot be my gender. The age of the body cannot be my age. The color of the body cannot be my color. The modifications, everything. And if that is true, then what will be the life like? That is called as playing meditation. Like we play home. I am father and you are mother and we have children and let us play. So the small children are playing, isn't it? Mother, father. Let us play. And I am Satchidananda Parabrahma Paramatma. What does it mean? See, then this thing will happen. So ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tauna vijanitaha. Both of them are ignorant. हंता हम हतः अस्मि अहम इति देह हननेन आत्मानं यौ विजानतः तौ आत्मस्वरूप अनभिज्ञौ इत्यर्थः. So those who consider themselves that I am the killer and I am getting killed by the killing of the body, such people, both of them, tau atma swarupa anabhidnau, they have not understood the meaning of the word atma. See, when the words do not carry meaning, it is called as noise, is it not? When the Chinese people talk, we don't understand what nonsense you are making. Or if we do not know the South Indian language, and when the South Indian starts talking, we say, what is this? You are putting a stone in a matka and hillowing or what? Because we don't understand the meaning. Is it not equally true? Aham Brahma Asmi. What is the meaning of Aham? What is the meaning of Brahma? What is the meaning of Asmi? So this is nothing but only making noise. And the most wonderful thing, it is so wonderful to see in this world. In ashrams, they put boards. Like, keep silence. In the same manner, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. And then you enter in that Brahma hall. And then Bura hall. All the time the same going on. Therefore, Ubhau Tauna Vijanitaha. Both of them have no understanding what the self is. Yasmat, because na ayam atma hanti, na hanana kriyayaha karta bhavati, na hanyate, na cha karma bhavati ityartaha avikriyatvat. So what is said? Nayam hanti na hanyate. Neither he is the doer, nor he is the one on whom any action can fall. See? In short, avikriyatvat, because there is no modification of any kind in the self, in the reality, in the truth, in the absolute. Avikriyatvat. So, katham avikriya atma iti dvitiyo mantra. So, first of all, important point is brought out in the 19th verse, that this Atma Tattva is neither the doer nor the one on whom action falls. Because the doer is the ego, and the action on whom this action falls is the deha, the body, the matter. So ego is equally an illusory thing, and the matter on which it falls is also equally illusory. And therefore, this Atma Tattva does not suffer any modification on account of doership or the one on whom the action falls. How this is? This is said in the next mantra. Na jayate mriyate va kadachita. Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. This mantra comes in our Kathopanishad. There is only one word change there. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschit. Here it is kadachit, there is vipaschit. So, na jayate na utpadyate jani lakshana vastu vikriya na atmanaha vidyate ityartha. So, this Atma Tattva na utpadyate is not born. So, the modification of birth, jani lakshana vastu vikriya, the modification called as birth does not belong to Atma Tattva. Like, for example, this pouch, this bag. This bag is not eternal. Somebody thought, designed, and then got this cloth cut and got it stitched, and it is there. So, that which was not earlier, the bag was not earlier, on a particular moment, this was conceived and produced, and this is not going to remain eternally. One day it will be broken, torn, destroyed. So the first modification is the birth. Therefore, na utpadyate jani lakshana vastu vikriya, na atmanaha vidyate ityartha. First step. So, na mriyate va, va shabda charthe. Va means and. And na mriyate iti antya vinash lakshana vikriya pratisiddhyate. So there are two extremes in total modifications. The first extreme is the birth, and the last extreme is the death or the destruction. And in between there are four of them. Totally there are 6. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati iti, shad sharira, shad vikaravat etas thulam shariram. So, na mriyate iti antya vinasha lakshana vikriya pratisiddhyate. Now when we read this, examine your own experience. Do we have any time an experience of birth? Because without experience nothing is accepted to exist. Isn't it? So, we have no experience of birth, but we continue to exist, and there is no experience of death. So, this, our experience of being a continuous, unbroken existence, that is being spoken of here as Atma. And we don't have to make belief. Evaluate your own experience. No, but those people say, if you do the Sayyama, then you can trace back your many lives. I told you one of my friend, he is good in this. So he told me, he says, Swamiji, I know my last 7 births very easily. So he said, in that last life, I was in Jabalpur, and before that I was in Dehradun, before that I was in so and so place, and in one place I died very early at the age of some 14 or so. And he went on telling, and in my last 7th birth I was a parrot. He said, I can very clearly see, like a picture in front of my eyes, who I was. And I can know it about anybody. So, shall I tell you? I said, no, I don't want to know. Why? I said, the question is, how do we say I was born and I was not born? If I was then, now I am, so there was no discontinuity. Birth demands beginning and end. So the birth and death belong to the body, etc., and it cannot belong to the self. So, na mriyate iti cha antya vinasha lakshana vikriya pratisiddhyate. Now, kadachit shabdaha, so na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Now, what is the meaning of kadachit? Kadachit shabdaha sarva vikriya pratisiddhyaihi sambadhyate. So, this word kadachit should be associated with every modification. What is every modification? Na kadachit jayate, na kadachit mriyate, na kadachit viparinamate, na kadachit apakshiyate, na kadachit vardhate. In this manner, this word kadachit, that means never. So never the Atma is born, never it grows, never it is modified, never it dies. So, यस्माद अयम आत्मा भूत्वा भवन क्रियायाम अनुभूय पश्चात अभविता अभावम गंता न भूयः पुनः तस्मात् न म्रियते. Because अयम आत्मा भूत्वा, this atma having bhavana kriyayam anubhuya, having born, thereafter abhavita, abhavam ganta, again experiencing the absence, na bhuyaha punaha, and therefore he will not be there. Tasmat na mriyate. This is not true. Therefore this atma was never born and never dies. He continues to exist without the in-between stations of birth and death. यो ही भूत्वा न भविता सम्रियते इति उच्यते लोके. So that which is born and which does not exist afterwards is called as dead. But in case of this Atma Tattva, Atma bhutva bhavana kriyayam anubhuya paschat abhavita abhavan ganta na bhuyaha na punaha mriyate. This is not again born. So va shabdat na shabdat cha ayam atma abhutva bhavita va dehavat na bhuyaha punaha tasmat na jayate. Therefore these two words va and na say na jayate mriyate va kadachit. So these two words va shabdat na shabdat cha ayam atma abhutva bhavita va dehavat na bhuyaha punaha tasmat na jayate. So like the body, the Atma Tattva is neither born nor ever dies. This is the meaning. Yohi abhutva bhavita sa jayate. That which is not existing and again it is born, then it is called as it is born. So, yohi abhutva bhavita sa jayate iti uchyate. Na evam atma ataha na jayate. That means never there was an absence, that out of the absence it has come. Like, a pot was absent and then it was created. So, in this manner, this Atma Tattva was never absent. Yasmadevam tasmad, this being so, ajaha. So, because the Atma was never born, therefore he is ajaha, unborn. Ja is jananam, birth. So, ajaha, and yasmannam riyate tasmad nityahacha. And because he doesn't die, therefore it is nitya. Now see, the whole line of thinking is how it is. Na mriyate, na jayate, mriyate va kadachit. This Atma Tattva is neither born nor ever dies. And nayam bhutva abhavita. Because neither it is born and thereafter it has died. And vana bhuyaha, and again it is born. In this manner, this Atma Tattva is not. Then to whom it belongs? This belongs to the body. The body was not there, then it is conceived, then it grows, then it is delivered, then it goes through modification, and one day it dies. In this manner, the Atma Tattva is neither born, nor modifies, nor dies. So, having said this thing, then the conclusion of the first line's discussion. So, yataha na jayate ataha ajaha. Because it is not born, and because it is not born, therefore unborn. Jasma namriyate, because not dying, never dies, therefore nitya, eternal. यद्यपि आद्यन्तयोः विक्रिययोः प्रतिषेधे सर्वा विक्रिया प्रतिषिद्धा भवन्ति, although adi antayoho, the first and the last modifications, when they are denied in the Atma Tattva, so the in-between modifications already stand denied, rejected. Nothing has to be done specially for that. So yadyapi, although adyantyoho vikrayoho pratishede sarva vikriya pratisiddha bhavanti, tathapi, however, मध्य भाविनीनां विक्रियाणां स्वशब्दैहि एव तदर्थैहि प्रतिषेधः कर्तव्यः इति अनुक्तानाम् अपि यौवनादि समस्त विक्रियाणां प्रतिषेधः यथा स्यात् इति आह शाश्वत इत्यादिना. How beautiful Bhagavan Shankaracharya expresses the thoughts. So, even then, Madhya Bhavininam Vikriyanam, the in-between modifications, Swashabdaihi eva, Bhagavan uses the words, Upanishad uses their own words. For what? Tadarthaihi pratishedaha kartavyaha. Because the in-between modifications are required to be denied. And therefore, anuktanam api, and which are the in-between modification, which are not said, they are yauvanadi, etc., the young age, etc., samasta vikriyanam pratishedaha, yatha syat. How this in-between modification can be denied? For that, the next word is shashvatoyam puranaha, nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So, what is the meaning of shashvata? Shashvata iti apakshaya lakshana vikriya pratishidyate shvashvat bhavaha shashvataha. So, shashvat means what? That which is reduced with the passage of time. Like, the moon is full moon. And as every day is added, there is little bit of reduction, and on Amavasya night, there is no moon. So this is called as Kshaya. Kshaya Roga, tuberculosis, is the same thing. The body starts becoming totally emaciated and finally destroyed. So Shashvata means apakshaya lakshana vikriya pratishidyate. Shashvata means that in which this kind of destruction with time is rejected. Because, everything in this world has got the inherent influence of time, because of which it is always leading to its own destruction. Every body that is born is immediately put into the operation by the principle of time, and the body starts modifying, and one day it dies. And suddenly it can happen any time without our knowledge. Like, there was one Brahmachariji, very nice one, very young, very strong, very well built, very dynamic. 2 days before I got a phone, I only heard about him that he was not well, that much, that's it. And then suddenly I got the news, Swamiji, he is no more. He was having cancer of his liver, and within 15 days everything was over. So nobody could believe that such a strong, healthy person, such a giggling, laughing, running around the world, will suddenly come to an end. So, this is the impact of time on everything except the Supreme Self. Therefore, Shashvata, na apakshiyate swarupena nira avayavatva nirgunatvacha na api gunakshena apakshayaha. And therefore, na apakshiyate is not reduced swarupena, from its own essential nature, swarupena, and the reason is nira avayavatvad, because there are no limbs. That which is limited by desha kala vastu, time space object, that alone can be destroyed. That which is without form cannot be destroyed. Like the gold doesn't have any form, so it cannot be destroyed. The water doesn't have any form, it cannot be destroyed. The space doesn't have any form, it cannot be destroyed. In the similar manner, therefore don't mistake, therefore Atma is water, space and fire. No. In the same manner, this absolute self being without any modification, otherness, is apakshaya lakshanaha na apakshiyate. And second, nirgunatvacha. Apakshaya is also called, destruction is also called nirguna, because of the gunas. Suppose somebody was, singing very well, and then something has gone wrong with the throat, and the singing ability has disappeared. So, that guna, that quality is no more. Somebody was earlier playing very good football, but then suddenly some kind of paralytic stroke has come, so he cannot play. So in this manner also, gunakshena apakshayaha na bhavati. There is no reduction or loss because of any attributes, because the truth is attributeless reality. Now, apakshaya viparita cha vruddhi lakshana vikriya pratishiddhate purana iti. Now, like one of the modification is reduction to nothingness, similarly another modification is growth, vruddhi lakshana. So earlier the child is so small, normally horizontal, and then suddenly you see him after 15-20 years he has become vertical. And again you see him after another 5-10 years he has become a drug addict, does nothing, again he has become horizontal. So, vardhate, vruddhi lakshana vikriya pratishiddhate. This modification of growth is contradicted, rejected by the word purana iti, by the word purana. So, yohi avayava agamena upachiyate savardhate abhinava iti uchyate. Like, a plant, when it is growing, what do we mean by growing? See, now there are more leaves, more branches have come out. So when avayava, more branching takes place, then we say it is growing. Now this Atma Tattva, without having any form, avayava, branches, cannot be called as growing, and therefore Purana iti. So ayam tu Atma nir avayavatvat pura api nava. Although it is the most ancient, yet it is ever the fresh. Because there is no impact of time. See, with this experience, all the old people, when they are healthy, they say, Swamiji, I don't feel that I am old man. People call me, but I don't feel. Because of the healthy disposition of the body, they are able to speak out the experience of the self. But at that time also, they are thinking themselves to be body. Because others are taking them to be body, and his experience is that of the absolute self. This experience he associates with the body. And then when to an old man somebody tells, excuse me, you must be around 35. No, I am 70. Oh, you look so young. Particularly, these young, these mothers and daughters. One day, one mother and daughter came. I knew them for last so many years. So I said, hey Amma, this daughter of yours looks like your sister. So the daughter said, Amma, Swamiji has complimented you. I said, no. Then I said, you are looking old. So the growth. But pura api nava, the one which is ancient yet uninfluenced by anything. Therefore, na vardhati ityartaha. Tatha na hanyate na viparinamyate hanyamane viparimanyamane api sharire. And nor it is killed by the destruction of the body. Hanti atra viparinama artha drashtavyaha. Anupa apunaruktayaina viparinamyate ityartaha. Hanyamane sharire. Why this is to be taken as viparinama? Because death has already come. Vinashati, it is already come in the beginning itself. Therefore, the fifth modification is viparinama. That is to be understood by the word hanyate. Viparinamam bhavati. It becomes something else. So, अस्मिन् मंत्रे षड्भाव विकारा लौकिक वस्तु विक्रिया आत्मनि प्रतिषिध्यन्ते. So in this mantra, this षड्भाव विकार, these are the 6 modifications associated with everything in this world. So जायते अस्ति वर्धते विपरिणमते अपक्षीयते विनश्यति, 6 of them. So all these laukika vastu vikriya atmani pratisiddhante. These are all denied, rejected in the Atma Tattva. Sarva prakara vikriya rahita atma iti vakyarthaha. So what is the conclusion of this statement? Statement's conclusion is that sarva prakara vikriya rahita atma. There are no modifications of any kind whatsoever in this absolute self. Vakyarthaha. Yasmadevam tasmat ubhautau na vijanitaha iti purvena mantrena asya sambandhaha. So now this mantra has to be again connected with the last mantra. Ubhautau na vijanitaha. This being so, that means the Atma being not influenced by any kind of modifications, and therefore ultimately neither the killer nor being killed. This what was said in the earlier 19th mantra should be related there. So yasmad evam tasmad ubhautau na vijanitaha iti purvena mantrena asya sambandhaha. Now ya evam vetti hantaram iti anena mantrena hanana kriyayaha karta karma cha na bhavati iti pratidnyaya na jayati iti anena avikriyatve hetum uktva pratidnyartham upasamharati. Now Bhagwan has first of all told in the 19th mantra, ya enam vetti hantaram, in this mantra, that the Atma Tattva is neither the doer of any action, such as killing here on the with reference to the particular situation, nor any action can fall on the Atma. And thereafter, na jayate, by the last 28th mantra, it is said that how no modifications are ever possible in the Atma Tattva. After having said these two things, now this topic is being concluded by the teacher. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enamajamavyayam katham sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. Veda vijanati avinashanam antya bhava vikara rahitam nityam viparinama rahitam yo veda iti sambandhaha enam purvena mantrena uktalakshanam ajam janma rahitam avyam apakshay rahitam. So all the words used about the Atma in this mantra were already used in the last mantra. Which are those? Avinashinam, Nityam, Ajam, Avyayam. See, these were the words which were used in the last mantra to indicate that none of the modifications of matter are ever present in the Absolute Self. So he who knows this, Veda Vijanati, Avinashinam, Nityam, Ajam, Janmarahitam, Avyayam, Apakshayrahitam. Katham kena prakarena savidvan purusha adhikrutaha hanti hanana kriyayam karoti. He who has known this reality, how he can ever do the action of killing? Because action of killing is not done by the self. Then who does that? The desire. I am limited, and because of that person I am miserable. They have taken away everything from me, and therefore I have to go and settle my account. Unless I remove them, erase them, I cannot get the seat in the Lok Sabha. So I will do this, I will do that. So who is doing this? Atma? No. It is that ego who is identified with the body and thereafter desiring so many things in the world, and anything which comes in between the fulfillment of the desire and his effort, he is killing that thing. In this manner, Atma Tattva does not have any incompleteness. How can ever that will be cause of any death? And therefore, kena prakarena sa vidvan purushaha adhikrutaha hanti hanana kriyam karoti. How can he ever think of killing anybody who has recognized himself? Because he knows he cannot kill anybody. When the body is destroyed, the five elements go back. When the body is destroyed, the jiva leaves the body. So you cannot catch the jiva and kill. And Atma Tattva can never be killed. So, whichever way you think, problem is whether you think or worry. Whichever way you think, there is no possibility of any action of doing act of killing. So, similarly, katham va ghatayati hantaram prayojayati. Ghatayati, how can he ever make somebody, an instrument, go and kill him? Because his knowledge is very clear that the self can neither be the killer nor can be it killed. At the most, what will you do? We will destroy the body, but the self remains intact. And when you recognize yourself to be the absolute reality, you will not see in others that they are matter. See? Like, if a person is miserable, a miserable person cannot make others happy. He can spread misery. In the same manner, he who has discovered himself to be the absolute self, he will not see anything other than the self, and therefore neither he will kill nor he will engage anybody, prompt anybody, motivate anybody to do the action of killing. Therefore, katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. So how can he ever kill or make others kill? Na kathanchit kanchit hanti, na kathanchit kanchit ghatayati iti. That means neither he kills anybody nor he makes others kill anybody. Ubhayatra akshepa eva prashna artha prashtartha sambhavat. So here this question, katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam, this is not a question. This is an objection. How can such a person kill anybody? So you should not reply. He will take a gun and shoot. That means you are not understood. When many times the questions are asked, those questions are meant for raising the objection. They are not meant for answering. Like, I always remember that man. When I am giving instruction in meditation, you don't have to respond, isn't it? Or else I say, sit properly, Start meditation, Now do pranayam, okay. That is not the way. So similarly, kam ghatayati hantikam. This is an objection. That means, can such a man ever kill himself or prompt others to kill others? No. Hante tu akshepaha udaharanarthatvena. And here the example given by Bhagavan about killing is only an example because he is on the battlefield. So, hetvarthasya avikriyatwasya tulyatvad vidushaha sarva karma pratishedaha eva prakaranarthaha abhipreto bhagavataha. So, the avikriyatwasya hetvartha. Why this point is emphasized again and again that the Atma Tattva is without any modification? Because tulyatvad vidushaha sarva karma pratishedaha. So the one vidusha, the wise man, who knows this, he also will not be engaged in any activity, nor he will make others act. See? I always remember one thing from Swami Khandanji Maharaj. He has been moving among the Mahatmas right from his childhood. And his Guru Maharaj, late Purnananda Tirtha Maharaj, he finally surrendered to him. Now what is that which attracted him towards his Guru? Please always remember, it is the disciple who accepts the Guru. It is not the other way around. Guru doesn't want anything. Therefore, Guru who ties you down, he is a Mahaguru. Beware. So, Swami Akhandanji went to him for what purpose and why he went? Only for one reason. He is to say that he never wanted anybody to change because of him. He will never change anybody. If somebody is a drunkard, he will say, stop drinking. If somebody is angry, he will never tell you, stop being angry. He accepted everything and everybody as it is. See? This is a very clear indication that one is established in the Absolute Self. Is it not true that the same mind entertains noble thoughts, the same mind entertains ignoble thoughts? The same eyes see the red color, the same eyes see the yellow color. There is no obsession. That knowledge where there is obsession is ignorance. That knowledge where there is no obsession is wisdom. See? The consciousness supports good actions and bad actions, the human life and the plant life. There is nothing, no, I will support only the human beings. I don't like this plant standing in one place. No, it is not like that. Therefore, vidushaha sarva karma pratishedaha eva prakarnarthaha abhipreto bhagavataha. Therefore, what Bhagavan wants to conclude, that for the wise man, there is no karma whatsoever associated in his life. Therefore, if ultimately we have to give up karma, then what will be our spiritual practice? Get rid of the karma. And what is the meaning of getting rid of the karma? Avidya kama karma. This is the hridaya granthi. It has to be cut. And for that alone, there is the study of scriptures. So, now from here the question answer begins. Very beautiful it is. Vidushaha kam karma asambhave hetu vishesham pashyan karmani akshipati bhagwan katham sapurushaha iti. See, what is the special hetu vishesham? What is the special reason that Bhagwan is telling karma asambhave, that there is no possibility of any karma in the wise people by this word katham sapurushaha? What is the special reason because of which Bhagwan is objecting the possibility of karma in the wise people? Kindly tell that. Nanu ukta eva atmanaha avikriyatvam sarva karma asambhava karana visheshaha. Are Baba, we have already told. What we have told? Atmanaha avikriyatvam. The self does not undergo any modification of doing, modification of killing, modification of birth, modification of death. None of these are ever applicable to the self, and the wise man established in the self. How can he ever engage himself, in any kind of activity? This is the hetu vishesha. This is the specific reason. And therefore, this wise man is no more engaged into activities. Satyam uktam natu sa karana visheshaha anyatvad vidushaha avikriyat atmanaha iti nahi avikriyam sthanu viditavataha karma na sambhavati iti chet. This is a very funny and very beautiful doubt. Satyam uktaha natu sa karana visheshaha anyatvad vidushaha avikriyatvad atmanaha iti. See, this Vidushya wise man has understood that the Atma is unmodified, doesn't undergo any change. So, okay, But why this wise man should not work? Because I look at a pillar, sthanu, the word is sthanu. I look at the pillar and I know the sthanu, the pillar does not do anything. So by that knowledge, what is the justification? Therefore I don't do anything. Now see, what is the problem with this person? Problem with this person is, he has taken Atma as an object, and the Atma does not undergo any modification. And the one who knows this will never get involved into any activities. How it is possible? The pillar doesn't undergo any modification. The pillar doesn't do any work. And I know that, therefore why should I work? Are Baba, are you pillar? This kind of doubts when you read, we can understand to what extent human mind can go. Na vidushaha atmatvat na dehadi sangatasya vidvatta. See Maharaj, what I am telling you, vidushaha atmatvat na dehadi sanghatasya vidvatta. See, the wise man is wise because he has known the self, not because he has known the body, etc. So, na dehadi sangatasya vidvatta, that is not called as being wise. Anyway, you know, ataha parisheshat asamhata atma vidvan avikriya iti. And therefore, parishesha nyaya. Therefore, what is left which is other than the body, etc. Asamhata atma. Atma which is one without a second. It is not an assembly. Asamhata means without components. Like you know, the body is with components. There are 5 great elements, there are sense organs, organs of action, etc. So, in this manner, in this Atma Tattva, asamhata Atma. Atma Tattva is not an assembly of many parts. So, asamhata Atma vidvan avikriya iti. And he who knows this Atma, how can there be any modification? Tasya vidushaha karma asambhavat. For such a wise person, the karma is asambhav. So, akshepaha yuktaha. Therefore, what is objected by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati antakam, this kind of objection, that for a wise man there is no possibility of getting involved in any kind of karma. That means wise people don't work? No. See, in the 3rd chapter you will come across this topic. Yastvatmratireva syat atmatruptascha manavaha atmanneva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. He is not obliged to fulfill any obligations in this world. That does not mean he doesn't work. See, what is the difference between karma of an ignorant person and karma of a wise person? The karma of an ignorant person is phala abhisandhi, for getting something out of this world. And the karma of the wise man is loka sangraha, or yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhe, or just the fun. There is no reason. If you read the Pothi of Shirdi Sai Baba, today I was just walking, that thought came, I don't know why. When he was young, in his teenage probably, maybe 15, 16, 17, in that Shirdi he came, and there was some spot. He used to go and clean that place and then make a garden. He'll go to another village, from there get those saplings, all the way with great care he'll bring it, and then make the holes in the soil, and then fix it properly, and then somebody will give him water in the mud pot, and then he will, as if this is very, very important, urgent work. Similarly, you know, this Nityananda Swami of Ganesh Puri, his original place is near Kasargod, Kanangad. And there in a kind of a big rock, there is all the soil near the sea. So it's a big kind of rock. It is not a rock, hard soil you can say, a huge one. So with the help of maybe stone or something, he spent years together in making many caves. So now there are about 30-40 caves inside. So you can go there and sit for meditation. Nobody does that. People go as a visitor. Oh, very nice, very nice. Baba ki jai ho, and again continue the same thing. So after having made all that, above that his temple is there. And then from there he left. Then he came to Ganesh Puri. See? So this is not a karma that they have done to achieve something. Therefore, for the wise people, it is no possibility that they will ever do any karma. Yatha buddhyadi ahrutatya shabdaradyathasya avikriya evasan buddhi vritti aviveka vijnanena avidyaya upalabdha atma kalpyate. Like, the Atma Tattva is without any modification, etc. And this Atma, in association with the thoughts, and because of the absence of the otherness, and because of the association with the ignorance, so aviveka vijnanena avidyaya upalabdha, he is called as, he is the knower, he is the doer, etc. Meaning, when the Atma Tattva is associated with the conditioning, the modifications of the conditionings are superimposed on this self. Evam eva, in the similarly, Atmanatma Viveka Jnanena Buddhivritya Vidyaya Asatya Rupaya eva Paramarthataha Avikriya eva Atma Vidwan Uchyate. In the same manner, the person Vidwan Purusha, he who has, by the proper study of the scriptures, by the proper discrimination, come to know Vidyaya, come to know. And what is this Vidya? Jnana Vritti. What is the Jnana Vritti? Asati. It is not real. Like the Avidya Vritti, Ajnana Vritti is not real, Jnana Vritti is also not real. And yet he is called as a wise person because as the Atma Tattva associated with the conditioning of the body, etc. is called as a man, woman. Same way this Atma Tattva associated with the Jnana Vritti is called as the wise person. And this wise person is being spoken of here. But that doesn't mean that wise person is different from the other wise person. No, all of them have the same reality. The conditionings are little different. That's it. So, buddhi vritya vidyaya asatya rupaya eva paramarthataha avikriya atma eva. Therefore, atma paramarthataha avikriya eva. Absolutely, essentially, the atma does not undergo any modification. Means what? In the Atma Tattva, there is neither a wise man nor a ignorant person. Association with the Ajnana Vritti, ignorant. Association with the Jnana Vritti, the wise. So, Paramarthataha avikriya eva atma vidvan uchyate. Now this vidvan, vidusha, karma asambhava vachanat, yani karmani shastrena vidhiyanti tani avidushaha vihitani iti bhagavata nishchayaha avagamyate. Therefore, what bhagavata avagamyate, what is meant by Bhagavan Sri Krishna is that vidushaha karma sambhava, karma asambhava. There is no possibility for the man of wisdom to get involved into karma. Which karma? Yani karmani shastrena vidhiyante. Those karmas which are meant for or declared as the do's and don'ts by the scriptures. Like Agnihotra, you have to do this, you have to do that. This kind of Shastra Vidhi, Tani avidushaha vihitani iti. So they are not meant for the wise, but for the avidushaha, for the ignorant. This is what Bhagavan meant. Therefore, now here you please understand. Karma means what? Kriya plus sense of doership is called as karma. So you see, all these rituals, Vedic or Pauranic or Smarta, when they are done, the first thing that they do after the Yajman and person sits, first of all, puts little rice and water and flour in their hand, and then you have to take it and then say the Sankalpa. And what is the Sankalpa? In this place, in this time, I am so and so, the son of so and so, belonging to such and such Gotra, along with my wife, along with my children, along with my family, for such and such job, such and such karma karishye. So kartrutva abhiman is accepted. Then it is called as the karma. Without the sankalpa, no karma can begin. Otherwise, suppose somebody by mistake while going, he happens to kick the ghee pot and the ghee falls into that Yajna Kunda. That doesn't mean ahuti. Because there is nobody who is doing it with a sankalpa behind. So kartrutva abhiman has to be registered first. So vidushaha karma asambhavachanad yani karmani shastrena vidhiyante tani avidushaha vihitani iti bhagavataha nishchayaha avagamyate. Now, nanu, one more question is raised. Nanu vidya api avidusha eva vidhiyate. Then in that case, this knowledge is also meant for ignorant. Vidya eva avidushaha eva vidhiyate vidita vidyasya pishtapeshanavat vidya vidhanarthakyat. So, if you say vidya api avidusha eva vidhiyate, vidita vidyasya, the one who already knows, for him, pishtapeshanavat vidya vidhana anarthakyat. He who already knows, why should he be taught again? It is like pishtapeshan nyaya. Pishtapeshan nyaya means what? You want to powder the powder. It's already a powder. You can't powder the powder further. So pishtapeshan nyaya is called. That means what? Doing something which is not required is called as pishtapeshan nyaya. So tatra avidushaha karmani vidhiyante na vidushaha iti visheshaha na upapadyate. And therefore your logic that karmas are meant only for the ignorant and not for the wise, this logic is not accepted to us. Because for the wise even knowledge is not said, because he is already wise. So do you think everything, knowledge and ignorance, everything has to be done only by the ignorant or what? We don't agree this argument. So the teacher says, na anustheyasya bhava bhava vishesha upapattehe. Because the kartavya is there or is not there, that determines the karma. So anustheyasya bhava abhava vishesha upapattehe. अग्निहोत्रादि विद्यर्थ ज्ञानोत्तर कालम अग्निहोत्रादि कर्म अनेक साधन उपसंहार पूर्वम अनुष्ठेयम कर्ता अहम मम कर्तव्यम इति एवं प्रकार विज्ञानवतः अविदुषः यथा अनुष्ठेयम भवति न तु तथा न जायते इत्यादि आत्मस्वरूप विद्यर्थ ज्ञानोत्तर काल भावी किंचित अनुष्ठेयम भवति. What is said by the teacher? Look here, my friend. When you have studied and known Agnihotra and all kinds of things, and after having known this, then you have to do that. Now be very attentive here. There are two types of knowledges. One type of knowledge demands follow-up by action or upasana. Second type of knowledge does not demand any follow-up. Sarvam karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. For example, If you are told that if you walk 5 kilometers a day, within a month you will reduce 10 kilograms of your body weight. Now this is knowledge with you. Good. And after 1 month, you are the same. Why? No, I read it. You told me, I heard it. Then, that's it? No, you have to follow up. So this knowledge demands follow-up action. Similarly, suppose you are told, if you do this Gayatri 24 lakhs times, then there will be Brahmatej. Okay. Then nothing has happened. Have you done that? No, I have not done. Then you have not understood anything. So there is one type of knowledge which demands action or upasana after the knowledge is gained. Second type of knowledge. This is a yellow cloth. Now what action will you do? So the statement of facts does not demand any follow-up action. When you come to realize that the self which is neither the doer nor any action falls on him, when you come to realize this, there is nothing that has to be done or that has to be sought. Because this is the statement of fact. This is what Bhagavan is telling here. Now again I read, now get the meaning. Anushteyasya bhava abhava vishesha upapattehe. The one who is doing the anushtan, for him, doing and not doing is logically acceptable. How Agnihotradi Vidyartha Jnanottara Kalam. So after having heard Agnihotra etc., Jnanottara Kalam, after that knowledge, Agnihotradi Karma Aneka Sadhana Upasamhara Purvakam Anushteyam. You have to do that. Therefore I gave the example of running, it becomes easier to understand. So they have to do that. Similarly, Karta Aham Mama Kartavyam. If this is your knowledge, then you have to do that karma. So Karta Aham Mama Kartavyam iti evam prakara vijnanavataha avidushaha. So he is the one who is the ignorant. Yatha anushteyam bhavati natu tatha na jayati ityadi atma swarupa vidyartha jnanottara kala bhavi kinchit anushteyam bhavati. So after having known na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Having known this truth as your own being, it cannot prompt you into any activity. See, this is how it is one of the most difficult things for every seeker to cross this hurdle of doing sadhana. Doing sadhana is the biggest hurdle. Because every time, yes, I understood now. Now tell what I should do. Now, when this kind of people come and ask again and again the same thing, and those who have been professional listening to all the Vedanta, yet the same thing again and again comes. Okay, understood everything, now tell us what to do. So take a pot, put it on the stove, and put little bit of oil and jeera, cut the sabji, put it, cover it, put little water and wait for half an hour. This I am not telling imagination, this happened in somebody's house. That girl was not knowing anything how to cook. She said, Swamiji, don't mind, I have never cooked in my life, but now I got the book and I'll do that. She did all that. And we were waiting outside. I said, give me something to eat, at least mungfali, there is nothing. And I said, when they said that it will be ready 15-20 minutes, Swamiji. I said, all right. 15-20 minutes. Swamiji, nothing has happened. So I looked down. The gas was not on. I said, why didn't you start the gas? No, they have not written, start the gas. You can see such a dumb fellow. So, when we come to know that this Atma Tattva is without any modification, neither the doer nor any action falls, automatically your questions will disappear. Your questions come only because you are not ready to leave the body. You are not ready to leave the prana. You are not ready to leave the mind. You are not ready to leave the Vijnanamaya kosha. And therefore these questions come. Now tell me what I should do. Don't come to me again. This is all that I can do. So, Atma Swarupa Vidyartha Jnanottara Kala Bhavi Kinchit Na Anushteyam Bhavati. There is nothing remains to be done, to be known, to be achieved. Kintu na aham karta, na aham bhokta ityadi atmaikatva akartrutva adi vishaya jnanad anyad na utpadyate iti eva vishesha upapadyate. Therefore you ask, what is the speciality? Because of which katham sapurusha partha kam ghate adi antikam, this is the speciality. Because neither I am the doer nor I am the enjoyer of any action that is falling on me. And in this Atma Tattva, which is Atma Ekatva, there is no otherness in this Atma Tattva. Therefore, akartrutvadi vishaya jnanad. And therefore, there cannot be any action only by oneself. The action requires someone else to fall upon. And because of that, anyat na utpadyate. There is nothing that is created. And therefore, this is what is called as the Vishesha speciality, that the wise person established in this knowledge is never a karta. Yaha puna kartaham iti vetya atmanam tasya mama idam kartavam iti avashya bhavini buddhi syat. Those who think that we are the doer, then continue doing. Who stops you? They will always have this argument. But Swamiji, is it not our duty to help our elders? Then continue. Don't ask questions then. Still you are buried under the relationship, under the body identification, and nowhere near the truth we have reached. So, tadavekshaya sadhikriyate iti tam prati karmani. Remaining we'll see next time. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.